How you doing? My name's Tyler Bresnahan. I work for a company called Alamon. We do utility pole inspections and some other stuff. My primary job is to do utility pole inspections. The way we do that is we have a unit called a Resistor Graph, which I have here, and we also use a handheld, just a simple Galaxy tablet that holds most of our information. And what I'll do is, for example, with this job that we're doing now, we have a subcontract through AT&T. So AT&T gives us a list of all their poles in town by town. My town is Prospect, Connecticut, which is where we are now. And I go through my list, usually by street name, and I cross off my poles as I get to them. For instance, we're at pole 9807 right now, which would be on my list.
So every pole has a number?
Every pole is stenciled with a number, correct? And I will go through and I'll find the stencil on the pole, cross it off my list. I will capture a GPS coordinate with my handheld, and I will perform 2 resistor graph tests with this. And what the resistor graph does is it has a drill bit, about a 32nd of an inch. I don't know if you can see that with your camera there.
Oh yeah.
And that will go into the pole based on the pole's diameter. How far in this goes is based on the pole's diameter.
Now what's the name of this? Resistor Graph?
This is called the resistor graph, correct. And as this drill goes into the pole, it will essentially read the resistance that it gets.
Okay.
So if it's a soft pole, that drill will go right in real smooth and it'll give me a flat readout. And if it's a dense pole, it'll give a lot of feedback on the drill, and it'll give me a different readout on my graph, which indicates that that's a good pole. Okay, so what I'll typically do is we hold this down at the base of the pole at a 45-degree angle, and we drill in. And you can tell by the color of this pole that it's a relatively new one. It's going to give me a nice graph readout on this pole that it's a nice dense pole.
You can also tell probably how long it takes to drill that hole, or does that matter?
No, the speed is typically the same for every pole.
Now how many test bores do you do?
Typically in a day,
How many on one pole?
2 tests.
2 tests.
2 tests 90 degrees apart.
Got it.
Yep.
And how many poles do you get to in a day?
Typically, you can do about 100.
Wow.
You know, if you're working a nice 8-hour day,
Yep.
you can typically do
Now,
about
do you go
100.
out in the rain, shine, no matter what the weather is, or do you wait for good weather?
You can't do it in the rain because of the electronics of the equipment, so we don't work in the rain.
What do you do on the job when it's raining?
You hang out and you kind of wait.
So it's almost like working for the government.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Unfortunately, with we are weather permitted, So you
And this is a very important job, because we get a windstorm or something, these things can topple over. I've seen them topple over because they're rotten at the base.
The main purpose of our job is for safety reasons. Not only that, but if somebody had to come climb this pole to fix something at the top, if that's a rotted pole and they go to put their gaffs in, they could fall right to the bottom. Another main purpose of it is for insurance reasons. If somebody's driving down the road and smacks that pole, that person is liable to replace that pole. And this
really? I never knew that.
Yep, and this kind of documents that this was a good pole, so that person who hit the pole can't say, this was a bad pole, it was no good, it needed to be replaced. This gives AT&T all the documentation that they need, that this pole was tested, it's good, and that person's liable to replace.
So your information goes into your mobile, and then it gets uploaded to the main database.
It's uploaded to a server, a database, correct? That gets bashed against AT&T, and they read all our stuff, and they can see it.
That's terrific. I really appreciate it. I was curious when I saw that thing, and what the heck is he doing? And now we know, and everybody else watching this video will now know. So if you see somebody along with a reflective vest on, he looks like he's playing to the base, doing something to the base of a telephone pole. He's not playing games, it's serious business.
That's absolutely right, and this is the latest technology in testing poles. The way this used to be done is you'd have to dig up every pole, treat the base of them, whether they were good or not. This saves a lot of time, a lot of money, so if your video makes it out to any utility companies, please contact Alamon.
Alamon, now, how do you spell that?
You can come right over here to the side of my car. This will give you the name of the company and the 800 number that goes right to the main office there.
I like that.